Hello there, dear listener. Welcome back to another peaceful story time, one made for everyone, no matter your age. Tonight's tale is called Fear. But don't worry, it isn't about scary monsters or dark nights. It's about the kind of fear we all feel sometimes, and how even that can turn into something gentle and kind. So, sit somewhere cozy, maybe with a cup of tea, and let's begin. In a small village nestled between quiet hills, lived a boy named Leo. His cottage stood at the edge of the woods, surrounded by whispering pine trees and a stream that sang softly through the rocks. He was kind, curious, and gentle, but there was one thing he couldn't shake: his fear of the dark. Every night, when the sun slipped away and shadows stretched across the floor, Leo would light every candle he owned. The warm glow filled his tiny room, but still, his heart would race. He told himself there was nothing to be afraid of, yet his imagination painted shapes in the dark corners. One evening, his grandmother, a wise woman with silver hair and kind eyes, came to visit. She smiled at Leo's glowing cottage and said softly, "You know, my dear, sometimes the dark is just the world resting. It's not meant to frighten us. It's there to help us see the stars." Leo didn't know it then, but that night would begin a gentle change, one that would help him see fear, not as something to run from, but something to understand. The next evening, Leo decided to do something new. He took his grandmother's words to heart and stepped outside just after sunset. The air was cool and sweet, carrying the scent of pine needles and damp earth. Fireflies flickered near the stream, like floating stars close enough to touch. At first, his steps were small and careful. The woods seemed alive, leaves rustled, crickets sang, and somewhere an owl hooted softly. Leo clutched his lantern, the light trembling a little with his hands. But as he walked further, something began to change. The fear that once filled his chest started to loosen, replaced by a quiet kind of wonder. He paused near a clearing where moonlight spilled between the branches, painting silver patterns on the grass. There, he saw a small rabbit nibbling clover without a hint of fear. The animal looked up, its dark eyes calm and curious. Leo smiled. If the rabbit could feel safe in the night, maybe he could too. When he returned home, his grandmother was waiting by the door. "How was the darkness tonight?" she asked with a knowing smile. Leo grinned. "It wasn't dark at all," he said. "It was full of light, just quieter." That night, for the first time, Leo didn't light all his candles. Just one, and somehow, that single flame felt brighter than all the others before. A week later, Leo found himself sitting on the porch, watching dusk settle over the valley. The sky glowed with soft lavender and rose, and the first stars peeked through. He felt calm, the kind of peace that fills you slowly, like warm tea on a cold day. He had learned something precious. Fear wasn't his enemy. It was simply a small voice asking for comfort, a reminder that even in the dark, light was never truly gone. Now, when shadows gathered, Leo would smile and whisper, "Hello again. Let's watch the stars together." That night, he took his lantern and walked deep into the forest, farther than ever before. He found the same clearing bathed in moonlight, sat down on the grass, and listened to the world breathe. Crickets chirped, a breeze stirred the leaves, and the stars shimmered above him. For the first time, Leo felt completely unafraid. And from then on, the dark wasn't something to hide from, it was a friend. Thank you for joining me in this cozy little story, dear listener. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and come back for more gentle tales to warm your heart and calm your soul. Until next time, keep your lantern glowing, and remember, sometimes even fear can lead you to the light.